New cheap Harley Davidson motorcycles are coming. Watch this video. Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well. So, are we about to see new cheap Harley Davidson motorcycles? Small engine, small CC, small displacement bikes coming to the market? Well, as we know, Harley Davidson, in many people's eyes, have shot themselves in the foot by discontinuing the Sportster range and discontinuing that entry-level bike into their brand. A lot of the bikes, as we know these days, are expensive, not just from Harley Davidson, but from many brands as well. So there's been a big gap there where people just aren't coming into motorcycling anyway because the bikes are too expensive, or they're certainly not going into the brands like Harley Davidson as younger people, because guess what? They just can't afford it. And also, there aren't a lot of new customers coming to the brand because there isn't a lot available. Now, we could talk about the Nightster, as we said, and in the United States, they've reduced that down to $10,000 or just under $10,000, but that's still a lot of money for a young person. Now, as we know, Harley Davidson, they went into partnership with the Indian manufacturer Hero to bring out the X440 for the Indian market. We know that they got the X500, the X350 for the Chinese market as well. And those bikes are being sold in Australia. There's a bit of discrepancy there because people in Australia were thinking, well, why am I paying for a Harley Davidson bike that is essentially the same as a Benelli, and I'm paying this Harley Davidson premium? So, you know, there's always going to be that. But there is a report here in the motorcycle press here where they've interviewed Collier Rebstock, Harley Davidson's vice president for international markets, and he's talking about the loss of the entry-level bike for Harley Davidson into a lot of markets, the Sportster in particular. He said, we lost volume when we discontinued the Sportster model lineup, which was very successful. Basically, they lost volume. They lost a lot of sales. Now, what he kind of went on to say is that, well, actually, even though we lost volume, the Sportsters weren't making a lot of money. But I think they're starting to realize the problem here. Even though they weren't making a lot of money in terms of profit, because they went for this hardwire, they went for this premium brands, just trying to sell bikes at inflated prices, getting better profit margins on them. What they failed to realize, and now they're probably accepting, is that they're not getting people into the brand. They're not getting people into the early stages of the brand. And if you haven't got that, you know, you're never going to have your customers for the future. You're never going to have those loyal customers that love Harley Davidson, for example, love Ducati, love Honda, because you think, well, there's nothing to draw me there at an early pace. And then by the time I'm older, I don't know, I might want to do something else. I might want to spend my money elsewhere, not necessarily in Harley Davidson. But if you've got a cheaper entry-level bike like the Sportsters, then there's your market, there's your new market. They're acknowledging that. Well, whoopie-doo, we've been telling you that for ages, ever since you decided to cut the Sportsters. This is a stupid idea. You shouldn't be doing it. Even if you're running those models at a loss or a relative loss or making no money at all, you should have kept those bikes there, because those are the ones that brought in the next generation. Even if you just limited it to 2 models of the Sportster, that you should have kept them. It was a stupid idea to get rid of those. We all know that. I mean, he basically goes on to say in this report, and this is from the Motorcycle News here in the UK, so props to them for this article. He goes on to say, unfortunately, it wasn't contributing too much from a financial point of view to the company, which I've just been talking about. That's a challenge. How can we enter the market with smaller displacement, entry-level products that still give us the financial outcome needed? So they're still looking at this profit margin. So I don't think they fully seen the light of day here. All they're talking about is profit, profit, profit. They're not talking about customer base. And this is where I believe, and I've made videos about this in the past as well, they've disconnected themselves from the Harley Davidson community. They've disconnected themselves from, you know, trying to get people to come into the fold, as it were. All they're talking about is sales and profits. Now, you could say, well, that's a company. That's what a company does. But in terms of Harley Davidson, they need new people coming into the brand, and they're just not doing it. He goes on to say, people in R&D are focusing on this topic. There's a need. I can't disclose what's in the pipeline, but we understood that we need a stepping stone into the brand. Now, where are these bikes going to be made? You would imagine. Well, they're not going to be made in the United States. They're already going to make a lot of these in Thailand, and I wouldn't be surprised if these are Thailand bikes or anything like that. It possibly could be, the Indian bikes, or it could be the Chinese bikes that are going to be sold all over the world. But here's the interesting thing. We have excellent production capacity in Thailand. Many of our motorcycles for international markets are now coming from that plant, and feedback is already excellent in terms of quality. So, what does this mean? Are we talking about a brand new motorcycle, a brand new cheap entry-level bike? And when we talk about this in terms of money, are we talking £10,000, dollar shekels and above? Are we talking under 10,000? Or are we talking in the region about £5,000 to £7,000, dollars shekels? If we're talking in the region about £5,000 or £6,000, you've got a decent price point there to attract younger people. Now, what kind of bike is it? Because if it's an X440 that's coming over from India, £5,000 to £7,000, dollar shekels, might even be too expensive compared to some of the competitors. I'm talking about Royal Enfield here. So if you're coming in with a bike at £7,000, where the competitors sell a bike for £4,500, dollar shekels, then you're already onto a loser. If you're bringing a brand new bike out that R&D are producing, and it's something that's going to be in that price point, but nobody else has got, and it's going to bring people into the Harley Davidson mix, and guess what? It's a bit like Sportsters, then you might have something to offer. Hey, what about just looking at the Sportster again and just finessing that a little bit, making it compliant? Lots of other manufacturers, I've said this time and time again, lots of other manufacturers make air-cooled engines. Just change that Sportster engine and just produce that bike again. Produce it in Thailand. Produce it wherever you want to produce it. I know it might alienate a lot of people in the United States, but in terms of a global seller, lots of people may want to buy that bike again, especially if you're going to come in at, let's say, I don't know, £7,000, £8,000, dollar shekels. Hey, lots of people are going to buy it. So it could be that they're going to be bringing out some bikes that, there is this guy here from Harley Davidson. He said, look, there's something in the pipeline. We're looking at R&D. It looks likely they're going to be producing these in Thailand. What will they be? We don't know. I doubt we're talking about the X440 from India. I doubt we're talking about the 350 or the 500 from China. I wouldn't be surprised if those bikes in themselves are pushed to other markets. I've been calling for the X440 to come to Europe anyway for the longest time. In fact, I've been calling for the X350 and the 500 to come over as well. But they've got to come over at the right price point. But if Harley Davidson are going to bring out a cheap bike, and even if it's made in Thailand, as long as it's good, as long as the quality is good, then they could have a winner on their hands. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, keep on watching the videos. Don't forget you can go to the website, RevelatorAlf.com/books, for all the motorcycle books that I sell. And with that, I'll catch you again in another video coming very soon. Bye now.